Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be doing my makeup and talking about why I was off YouTube for basically a year. And before we get started, subscribe and follow the media. Okay, so let's get started. I always rinse my face with cold water before I begin my makeup, so I already did that, and I already washed my beauty blender so it's all damp. And so the next thing, just clips to clip my hair. Okay. And then I'm just gonna use my moisturizer. Oh, and if you guys are wondering why I keep looking this way, it's because my mirror is here. And I'm gonna take my eye cream. And I'm gonna take my primer. So I kind of just want to do my skincare just to, before I start talking about everything that has changed over the year and all that stuff. So let me just quickly do this. Okay, I'm just gonna brush my eyebrows a little. I also use these two things for my lips. So this, I actually don't use whatever is actually in here, like the product. I have like Nivea hand cream in here, and I just use that for my top lip because I don't know why my top lip gets extremely dry and it requires extra care. And then I use my Vaseline Lip Therapy in Cocoa Butter because it's just the best one. Okay, that is my skincare, and now to the actual makeup part. So I'm gonna use my foundation. I'm just gonna shake it first. So I have been on and off YouTube for a while. I think it's been maybe 3 years since I've been doing YouTube, but it's always been on and off. I also have like a list of things to talk about because I need to have a list or else I forget and then the whole video will just become chaotic. So I've always been on and off YouTube because of timing issue and certain things just not adding up and certain events just kind of stopping me from doing it. So when I first started YouTube, it was by myself, obviously, and I was just recording for fun. I record like makeup videos and just random videos. And then from 2020 to like the beginning of 2021, that's when I started filming with my sister. It was basically a sister channel. That was it for foundation. And then for my blushes, matte or dewy today. Today's kind of a cloudy, rainy day, so I'm just gonna do matte and Grace. So I'm just going to put one over there. My favorite blushes. So the last time me and my sister filmed and uploaded a video was January 2021, so last year January. So during that time we were in Canada. We were visiting family and our long distance boyfriends, and they just happened to be brothers. So it was also so difficult during that time to go to Canada because they required a certain note basically saying like you have a reason for coming into the country, and it takes like a month for it to get like processed and stuff. So we were actually in Canada from November 2020 to February 2021. Okay, now we're going in with bronzer, contour, whatever. I'm gonna kind of go through the entire year month by month from February 2021 because that was the last time we recorded and uploaded a video. So in February we were in Canada until like middle of February. So we were not planning on coming back in February. We were gonna stay there a little bit longer because we haven't seen our boyfriends in a really long time. But we decided to come back to New York because my sister got a job opportunity. It was funny because she actually wasn't looking for a job, but she got one from LinkedIn. She wasn't actively looking for a job, but she got one and it was a great job opportunity, so she had to come back to New York and start her job. And then once we came back, we stopped filming because our schedules just did not line up. She would basically work Monday through Friday from morning until like 5-6 p.m. and then she would resume her classes because she was in college at that time. She was in her last semester, and so she was basically not free Monday through Friday whatsoever. And then on the weekends, our timings just did not add up because we're both so exhausted, and I had school and she had to catch up on school, on her assignments and everything like that. It didn't line up and we just stopped filming. And the thing is, I couldn't even film on my own because, again, Monday through Friday, I couldn't even be in my room because she would be on calls and in meetings, so I couldn't make a slightest of noise. I would barely even be in my room Monday through Friday. I would come in just to like maybe use a bathroom and change, and that's literally about it. And then I would go to the living room and do my homework and everything there. Concealer time. Okay, so that was February. Came back to New York, stopped filming, schedules wouldn't line up, I couldn't even film on my own, etc. And then came March 2021. Okay, so March was a pretty basic month, you know, just school because I had work. There was weddings and events. So March was just a regular month. And then April, the only highlight of it was the fact that we got our COVID vaccines and yeah. And, you know, just hanging out, school, etc. And I take a lighter concealer. So this isn't actually the concealer that I like anymore, but I do have it and I'm going to use it up until it finishes because I hate waste. This is a lighter shade. So I just pinpoint exactly where my dark line is, right there. And then I just pinpoint it to right there. Okay, now I'm just going to go over everything with my Beauty Blender because I am done with cream and liquid products and I'm gonna use powder now to set my face. So I just want to make sure that there's no creasing or anything. Okay, now I'm gonna take powder and put it under my eyes, put on my eyelid, and then pretty much just set my entire face. Oh. Okay, so May was just, you know, hanging out, doing school because it was finals month. I was finishing up my first year in college. My mom bought my sister her very first like luxury bag, which was a Louis Vuitton bag, for her graduation because my sister was finishing up college, her undergrad in accounting. And that month it was also her graduation dinner. So that month it just basically concluded of us finishing up, well, I was finishing up my first year, she was finishing up her last year, and yeah, that was May. Okay, so what I do now is I take a Q-tip, and if I have eye bogeys, I will take my Q-tip and take out the eye bogeys because it's a lot more sanitary if you just do it with a Q-tip. And it doesn't remove makeup from your eyes, so. And then with the other side of the Q-tip, I just clean off my eyebrows because I hate the feeling of makeup just piling on. So I'm just gonna clean my eyebrows. Take out whatever powder, foundation, concealer was on there. And now it's time for eyebrows. I just take the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil and do my eyebrows. And then the month of June. That was actually my very first beach day with my friends. Keep in mind, I'm 20 years old and this was my first beach day with my friends. Also in June 2021, that was a month that I made my sister retake her freaking permit exam because it had expired and she was too lazy to take the test and like the process and stuff. So because it was COVID time, well, I mean, it is still COVID time, but you could take the permit exam online and you just have to submit the forms, like your passport, certain documents, whatever. So I literally submitted everything. I scanned everything. I sent it in. I was like, here, do it. And this was when she was working too. She was literally working, and then I literally gave her the laptop and the permit exam had started. I'm like, okay, it started, answer the questions. And then like I left the room. So the reason that she got her permit and then her license was because of me. Because if it wasn't for me, she would have never gotten her freaking license. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish up this eyebrow off camera because I can't talk and do my eyebrows at the same time. It's too hard. Okay, I did my eyebrows and I'm just gonna take a brush and just brush over my eyebrows because sometimes the product from the eyebrow pencil will kind of have a little fallout. I normally use the Benefit brow gel, but since I got this for free, the Anastasia brow gel, I use this whenever I'm not going anywhere. Like today, I'm not going out and I'm just gonna wear makeup for fun today. So I'm just gonna use this to finish up because I hate waste. Okay, so still with June. That was the month that I first started driving. Okay, the next two things that I use are these two powders. So this one is more of like my actual skin tone. So I'm gonna use that under my eyes for a little bit more coverage. And then I go in with this one to lighten my under eyes, and then like this part and this part. So in June, I also got my very first credit card. And the reason it was my very first credit card was because I didn't want to get one before I had a job, because what would I be buying and how would I be paying for what I'm buying? I just don't want to ask my parents for the money, and I don't know. I wanted to get my first credit card when I got my first job, and yes, I got my first job when I was 19. Not everyone starts something at the same exact time in their life. So yeah, I got my first job when I was 19 years old. And that was when I got my very first credit card. That month, oh my gosh, this was like the month that I felt like I was actually hitting my adult stage because I started driving. I got my first credit card. And June was also the month that I started applying and interviewing for jobs. So at that moment, I had actually applied for 2 jobs. One was at Aritzia, and then the other one was Apple. Apple, I honestly did not think that I would get the job. So that's why I was like, let me just try for Aritzia. And that was when I went in for my very first in-person interview at Aritzia. Apple did not have in-person interviews because of COVID. Okay, so after those powders, I'm gonna go in with this. This is a single eyeshadow in the shade Vermeer, and I use this for my inner corner. Okay. And then came July. I had gotten the job at Aritzia, and that's when I started working at Aritzia. But I was still conducting interviews with Apple. I think that at that point, it was my 2nd or 3rd round of interviews with Apple. Again, I did not think I was gonna get the job, so I was working at Aritzia. By the way, I'm gonna make a whole video on Aritzia because, oh my god. If I had to say which job I enjoyed the most, 100% Apple, Aritzia was. I'm glad I got the experience, but... And then I go in with my Amrezy highlighter and I just put it right here. And in the month of July was Ghazal's birthday, and it was a basic working month at Aritzia. Just worked there, still interviewing for Apple, etc. Now comes August. This is a month where it was a little bit hectic. And this was when I quit my job at Aritzia because I had gotten the job at Apple. So I accepted the job at Apple, I quit Aritzia, and it was perfect timing because that month, oh, I'm going on with this blush by the way. That was the month of my sister's nikah. That's the Islamic marriage ceremony, and it was going to happen in Canada at my family's house. So we stayed in Canada for a week. We did my sister's nikah, and then I obviously went on my dates with my boyfriend. And then we came back to New York after the week in August. And that's when I started my training at Apple. This was the last week of August, I think. And that was also the time that I started my 2nd year in college. This was my first time in person going to Baruch because I started Baruch right when COVID happened, so everything was online. Okay, now it's time for bronzer. It smells like coconut. Okay, so September 2021. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bronzer and use it on my nose. So September was when I actually started working at Apple, as in I had completed my training and I actually started working. And so during that month, it was just, school, work, and also Najib, my sister's husband, came to New York, and my mom threw like a little gathering in our neighbor's backyard so they could meet the people that we grew up with. And that was also the month where I bought my very first big purchase with my own hard-earned money, which was my iPad. So that was a very exciting month. I felt very independent, and I honestly did enjoy working at Apple. So I'm gonna take this brush to contour my nose a little bit. Okay, and then comes October. That is when I turned 20 years old. And this was a pretty basic month too. I just did school work. I hung out once in a while because I don't really have time to hang out since I worked almost every single weekend. And then came November 2021. And again, basic month, school, hang out, work. Okay, now comes December. This was also a pretty hectic month. I was still working at Apple in the beginning of December. It was the last 2 weeks of school, so it was finals week. So freaking stressful. So school, work, and then this was a month that my boyfriend's mom called my mom. What that phone call was a khozgari. So in our culture, the guy's parents usually call the girl's parents, and it's like, hey, my son's basically interested, and like for marriage purposes and stuff. So that happened, which was pretty exciting. I'm just gonna go over my blush and my bronzer with a beauty blender to kind of calm things down a little bit. And so December was also the month that I quit Apple. This was, I think, the 3rd week of December, and I quit Apple. Okay, now I'm gonna do a setting spray because I'm done with my powders and everything. So I have 3. One is the Milk, one is the Morphe, and then this in here, it's actually the Charlotte Tilbury, but I like the spray on this a lot better, so I use that. I honestly love the Charlotte Tilbury because it actually makes it feel like I'm not wearing any powder, and it makes you look extremely like dewy and luminous and as if there's no powder on your face. So this is the one that I actually use on a normal basis whenever I go out. This one is the one that I use at home because my sister had bought it and I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to use this and this together. During the month of December, this was after I quit Apple, I actually went on an airplane by myself. This was my first time being on a plane by myself, and I went to Canada because that phone call where like it was a khozgari thing, they had decided that we'll do the labs, which is the girl side basically giving like sweets to the family. It was just an immediate family type of thing where they're like, it's a promise to get engaged and then both acknowledging like our engagement, something like that. Isn't my fan so cute? While I was in Canada, me and my boyfriend, we did ring shopping and we went on dates and stuff because our labs was gonna happen on New Year's Eve. So we did some ring shopping because I didn't know what I was looking for, and I just wanted to get a sense of what kind of ring I wanted because I know he's gonna be spending a certain amount of money and I want it to be on something that I know I'll like. So we actually went to a few stores to get a sense of what I like and my ring size. This was also the month where we went to luxury stores, so like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, YSL. And we did bag shopping because he was planning on buying me a luxury purse for an engagement gift. So I wanted to go in person to see all the bags and see which one I like the best in person. And the one that I did like, they didn't have it in store at all because it was new or something. So he ended up buying it for me in January because one popped up in January in New Jersey, so he bought that bag. Now I'm going to take this powder with my beauty blender and I'm just going to set the certain parts of my face where I don't like it to look dewy, which is right here, and then came New Year's Eve, and that's when we had our labs. And so his immediate family came over, my immediate family was there. So no one knew that I was dating him. The way I revealed it was just so hilarious because it's not usually common for people to actually date for the length of time that we did. As our labs was happening, I would post photos and videos of us throughout like the 2 years that we've been dating in different seasons. Literally, it was the most hilarious thing ever. The only people that knew were my friends, and I told them literally the month after we started talking to each other. So now I'm just gonna kind of go over my lashes to make sure that none of them are kind of facing down. And then I take a Q-tip, my Q-tip that I was using, and I just clean up my lips with it because I don't like the fact that I'm gonna be putting on lip liner and my chapstick on top with like foundation and powder. I hate that. And then I go back in with my lippies. So then January happens. So we come back to New York and I'm just chilling because I don't have school. School didn't start for me until February 1st. And then like 2-3 weeks into January, Zabi, my boyfriend, he actually came to visit me and my family for a week. And this was his first time in New York City because I actually took him to Manhattan. We did the touristy stuff, not all the touristy stuff that I would have liked, but it was freaking cold. Whenever I do my makeup, I usually like to have a small mirror and my big mirror because for this, I like to use it whenever I do my eyebrows or my lip liner or my mascara because then I can like get in here like that, you know? I go with my mascaras next. So the 3 mascaras that I use are the telescopic, this one, and then this one. So I go with this one first. So this is February time. So in February, my second semester of my second year started. All my classes were in person. And towards like the third or second week of April, that is when all these events and these weddings happen every single weekend until the second to last weekend of March. Then in February, we actually went to Canada for a personal reason. We just stayed there for legit a day, and then we came back to New York. Okay, so I'm gonna do these lashes off camera because it's so freaking hard to talk and do my lashes without me messing up and then poking my eye. Okay, so I finished up with my lashes. I usually wait until my eyelids have dried because I always get mascara on my eyelids, and I wait until it completely dries before I go in with a Q-tip to take it off. March was another freaking hectic month because again, every single weekend there was some kind of event. During the first weekend of March, we went to Canada for my sister's wedding. She didn't want a wedding. She was never a banquet hall wedding gal. And so my mom just did a small like wedding type thing at my family's house in Canada. She moved in with a man. And then we came back to New York without her, which was so freaking weird. I ended up having my own room, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it. But I do very much miss her. Literally one weekend later after Ghazal's wedding thing and after her moving out, her husband and my boyfriend came to New York because they were also invited to weddings. Yeah, so they came literally just one weekend for the weddings, and then they went back to Canada, and then again there was another wedding the weekend after, and then happened April. It's literally April 3rd. Nothing much has happened. I just decided to film. I actually decided to film last weekend, and I did, but there were so many things wrong. I had to get those kinks worked out, and here I am now. Okay, so I'm just gonna do my lip liner real quick and I can't do while I'm talking, so. Okay, and then I go in with my NARS Tinted Lip Balm, and this is literally done. It's literally in there, but the thing is, again, I hate waste, so I take a brush and I dig out whatever product is left and I just put on there. Actually, no, what am I saying? I freaking did this before I did my lip liner, but I go over it again to kind of blend things through. Okay, so that is my makeup. I'm just gonna take out these hair clips. Okay, so that was my makeup and that was my description on everything that happened in the year that I didn't film. A lot of changes have happened. I have my own room. So now I can actually record. I want to go back to filming YouTube consistently and posting once a week. And then if time and opportunity happens, maybe even twice a week. So I already have videos planned for the next 4 months. And this channel is gonna be everything. Whatever you guys can possibly think of, it will be it. I will ask you guys for video recommendations every single time. I am down to do almost anything. And so pretty much any video that you guys can possibly think of, I will do it. Because I want this to be a very open channel to do everything, not just one thing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social medias, which I'm gonna have somewhere here. And so yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.